Info. Good afternoon. Welcome. It's time to switch the conversation from looking at what is happening at the local government level to look at what the petrol situation is like. Now, not too long ago, I read you a news story that petrol stations in Port Harcourt now sell fuel between 850 naira to 860 naira per litre, as against the former price of between 700 to 720 naira per litre. Now, our correspondent, I also went out there and I observed that there are long queues at various petrol stations. Now, the fuel price hike has also resulted in the rise in the price of transport fare across Port Harcourt. You would recall that sometime last week, the NNPCL had blamed the situation on a hitch in the discharge operations of a couple of vessels. Now, the company said it was working round the clock with all stakeholders to resolve the situation and restore normalcy to operations in the oil and gas sector. Also, I did tell you that 15 lawmakers have called on the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, to resign. So joining me to have a conversation about the current petrol situation on hard facts is Dr. Joseph Obele, who is an oil and gas expert, currently a lecturer as well, and he will be helping us navigate this conversation as we look at solving the problems bedeviling the oil and gas sector. You're welcome, Doc, on the show. It's good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
All right. The question I would always ask you when you and I interact: what is happening? Why do we have petrol scarcity yet again for the umpteenth time this year? Can you tell us?
Okay, sincerely, the situation we have right now will be far different from the publications done by NNPC 2 days ago, that is vessel logistic issue as it concerns discharging. Okay. The actual issue could be last month, landing cost was about 970 naira per litre. Just last week, about 2 weeks ago, it moved to 1,050 naira. After today, landing cost is about 1,200 naira per litre. Hence, federal government is still giving to marketers for 566 naira. So the burden or the gap or the range of payment of the differentials, which is the monetary intervention of government called subsidy, is becoming large, is becoming huge, is becoming wider, and the burden is becoming cumbersome for them to bear. And that is the template they have, or the thing they have to flip, is no longer valuable as a concern in terms of large number of vessels that can cushion the effect. The hard life is that the high burden of subsidy is really relieving them.
Dr. Obele, confirm me and as many listeners out there, the 29th of May 2023 subsidy is gone declaration was made by the president. So I do not understand what you mean by the cumbersome nature of subsidies, why we have petrol scarcity, and I cannot understand it for some reason. Are you saying we're still paying subsidy?
Okay, let me explain so you understand. The last 6 months of President Buhari in office, they launched the NNPC Limited. That makes the NNPC full commercialized entity and no longer the government-owned nation-owned
responsibility.
Okay. You agree with me that this is not operating a charitable organization, and hence I'm telling with that and fact that landing cost is over 1,000 and is still given to marketers at 566. The differential is about 400 naira per litre. Canada, each litre consumed by any citizen of Nigeria, government is paying directly or indirectly 420 naira per litre, as in the monetary intervention. Okay. So the NNPC describe it as recovery. They call it recovery. So what they are doing is plus or minus. Hence they are in charge of government policy on oil. So they do recovery and balancing. All the books of NNPC stated recovery. They have changed the name from subsidy to recovery. So what are the recovery? They are recovering the difference as in the cost of buying refined petroleum products and the sales of crude oil. So that's why they do the consolation. We are still paying subsidy as we speak. as a nation.
Interesting conversation. Dr. Obele, the last
The
time...
name has changed from subsidy to recovery. Take note of that.
Okay, I have taken note. But last time you and I were supposed to have a conversation, you were in Abuja, you were having a meeting, or rather the marketers were having a meeting with the NNPCL. And I do believe at the time it was supposed to solve all of these itches and troubles and problems that bedeviled that sector. What was the resolution, and have we followed up with the resolution as a country?
The meeting was at the tip of the conversation as it concerns the privatization of NNPC, the ongoing rehabilitation, the refinery undergoing rehabilitation. So stakeholders book an appointment with the top management, and we were proposing that the ongoing, because there was a lobby that recall that early this year it was advertised that NNPC is the refinery is put for bidding as it concerns privatization.
Okay.
And the top management of NNPC commenced serious lobbying, so in view of retaining the management process and the rest. And we found at it, and the debate was intensive, and we maintain our position, and that remains our position, that NNPC should not operate this refinery after the ongoing rehabilitation. And we even added to our position that it should not even be given to an Asia firm or a Nigeria or Africa-owned firm, but an America-owned English firm. That's our position, and that was the last meeting I attended.
Well, you all are talking about privatization of the refinery, but the refinery has not even worked. I mean, look at the situation you have just described for us. We are paying about or over 400 naira to a litre for every litre that is consumed by a Nigerian, which means we are recovering according to the NNPCL. But yet the refineries are not working. What is holding the refinery? January, we pushed it to March, we pushed it to April, May, June. Now we are talking towards the end of the year. What really, as a stakeholder, can you tell us? Is it the cabal? From
all indications, the refinery not functional at the moment, and they're failing several days. It is obvious it's not a technical issue, it's not a mechanical issue, or it's not issue related to the ongoing rehabilitation, but it's an issue of interest. And who is this interest? And I will say it over and over again. The day the refinery will commence operation, two categories of persons will be out of business. Okay. And who are these persons? The importers of refined petroleum products will be out of business. The operators of private tank farms will be out of business. And the proliferation of private tank farms has been littered around Lagos, where we have about 78 private tank farms in Lagos. Here in Rivers, we have about 22. Calabar will have about 9. Warri will have about 6 private tank farms. And to construct one tank farm is in tune of billions. And these persons will be out of business the day the refinery commence operation. And they are giving us several days, and none of the days have come to reality. And the stakeholders of the industry or the washers of the industry are of the opinion a lot of forces are fighting the commencement of this refinery. And we will not be fast to say it could be one of these two persons. But we are so sure that there are two sets of persons that will be out of business the day the refinery will commence operation. And the question is, I'll push back to you. We then fold their hands to see this refinery commence operation in view of them leaving a business. So that's what you should investigate as a journalist.
So you're insinuating in a way that Dangote's opera, is opera the right word? You know what he came out to say a while ago, that the cabal is making it difficult for local refineries to operate. You're saying that statement may be true.
The Dangote, the Africa conglomerate, he mentioned that about 2 weeks ago, and we have been stating this since 2-3 years ago. And he was pushed out of anger or frustration mented upon him to have stated that. But we have been stating this since 3-4 years ago. So he's becoming real now, and a serious issue coming for him. We are saying there are variables, there are forces fighting the Nigerian nation-owned refinery. And we will not be in a hurry to conclude that it could be these two persons. But one thing is sure, the day the refinery will be operational, these two set of persons will be out of business. So you investigate further if they are involved also. So that's what you should investigate and find out a report to the general public.
Now let's even look at this now. Do we have enough crude oil to supply? Because recently Um, People have been celebrating the fact that the president said, "Oh, sell crude oil to Dangote in naira." I do understand that will have some, positive impact. But do we have crude oil to sell to local refineries in the first place? Because I do remember at some point we mortgaged our crude for $3 billion, and we recently attempted to do it again. I do not know if we've done it, but do we have enough crude?
Canada, what happened in Nigeria 2 weeks ago is the biggest good news to the oil and gas sector. And what am I saying? The digitalization of the crude oil loading arms for about 7 years today. What the total volume will load in Nigeria, there's no statistics for certain. And Nigeria was still operating manual loading arms after, then until last week, the present Minister of State for Petrol for Oil awarded the contract. So in view of this, the flow of each barrel of litre leaving Nigeria, shown or option, will be recorded, and every person will see an accurate volume. So asking about if we have enough volume of crude oil, the OPEC quota for Nigeria is about 2.2 liters per day production capacity, and Nigeria is unable to meet up the OPEC production quota for Nigeria, and it's becoming worrisome and an issue. And several reasons have been given to the insecurity being the factor that is making us unable to meet up. So now the Dangote production capacity is 650 barrels per day, and join the Nigeria-owned refineries together, 400. Add 400 to 600, just say 1 million liters per day. The Watersmith refinery between Imo State and River State is 5,000 production capacity per day. The Niger Delta refinery at Ahoda is 2,000 production capacity per day. Join all the Nigeria production capacity per day is less than 1.1 million liters per day, and the OPEC quota for Nigeria is 2.2 million.
Is it 2 point? Is it sorry? Is it 2 point?
Our inability to meet up the 2.2 million is giving us about 1.8, 1.9 million. That's what we are producing at the moment. So if the requirement for all the local refineries is about 1.1, so then we are indebted to any foreign loan or whatever. The rest can go for it. So to answer your question, we have enough and sufficient to supply the local refinery, and there will be still more for them to ship out.
I wanted to say and ask if indeed OPEC's quota for us is 2.1, because the last I checked it was 1.7 or 1.8, but we'll have to look at the facts later. I do have a commercial coming up. When I do come back from the commercial, you and I will continue talking, so I would ask you to stay with me. But I would like to ask you, what would be the best solution to all of this crisis? Because we cannot continue to go back and forth, with this issue. Today we try to solve it, tomorrow it pops up again, tomorrow we try to solve it, because unofficially the price of petrol has somewhat grown to over 800 naira. Someone said it bought for 8,000 naira. So please do stay tuned. When we come back, and I will talk some more. The headline news: stakeholders react as long queues resurface in petrol stations in Port Harcourt. Chairman Union of Pensioners in Beverage State calls for quick implementation of minimum wage, frowns at slow pace of payment of gratuities and pension. Police IG warned security personnel against repeat of NSAS killings during August the 1st protest. Libya repatriates 204 Nigerians. On the foreign scene, death toll in India, massive landslide rises to 93. Details in the 6 p.m. bulletin.
This is Hard Facts.
It is the bottom of the hour. You're listening to 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am yours truly, Kaladakaru Batibor, and we are talking about the petrol situation across the country, the worsening state of the petrol situation across the country. And if you missed the first part of the show, better late than never. We've been told that we are still paying subsidy, now called under recovery by the NNPCL, because of the fact that landing cost is increased. We're being told that there is a move to privatize the refineries. However, I'm asking a question: what are you privatizing when the refineries are not working? And then we are then told that the refineries are not working because there are certain people who have invested billions of naira into the oil and gas sector that may lose a return on investment rather, if the refineries work. And so I'm thinking maybe Dangote was right with his outcry when he said the cabal would not let his refinery work. Welcome back, Dr. Joseph Obele, who is an oil and gas expert and a lecturer at the Ignatius Ajuri University of Education. It's good to have you on the show, and once again, thank you.
Yes, thank you for having me once again.
Okay, so just before the break, we were talking about if the country has got enough crude, to sell to local refineries, and you said yes. But my next question then would be, what is the best move to be made by the president? He is the main or substantive minister for petroleum. What move can he make to solve this problem once and for all? Looking at all the problems that we are faced with, looking at the situation that we are faced with, what do you think is the best situation going forward? And do you also think that the current state is as a result of either the IOC's divestments or oil bunkering at play? Let's get your thoughts.
Okay, the two advice on this table that ordinarily I should have recommended right now, like you asked, he has done one yesterday, which is selling crude oil to the refineries in Nigeria in naira currency, and secondly, privatization of the 4 own refineries. So immediately, I am yet to see any capitalist that can stand an intense competition with the Africa conglomerate, Aliko Dangote. So saying a government-owned entity like NNPC should operate this refinery after the rehabilitation, having spent $1.5 billion from Afrexim Bank as a loan, I think it's not worth it, and it will return back to status quo. That is the point of non-functionality of the NNPC. NNPC, as I know, I can't really show one establishment under the government of NNPC that is good to go, that can be appraised as credit outside the LNG Bonnie. And the LNG Bonnie, if you want to give them that, the share they own in LNG is less than 50%, where we have the Shell, Ajib, and other multinationals there. So this is why the effectiveness and operational efficiency of the LNG Bonnie is good to go, because it's not totally under the holistic management of NNPC. So we are recommending that the two things Mr. President should do, we have done one yesterday, which is a great benefit for Nigeria.
Can I please, with great benefits, frontiers are not working, right? And if you read the other word by the Midstream Regulatory Commission, that was refined. It's not. But you talk about sent to local refineries. Is that already sold oil? Two.
The refinery, most of its fuel was supposed this July, rising from seconds in the that's and that's announced by the first production message we have so and trust that it will be out. August or month after years, the benefit to the Nigerian when they refer to the where you know which is really business. So the other multinational that will be very and the one we will stand on. So when other people say right, a good vision, the mark will be the difference in when there is position, where is the favor in the
Okay, thank you very much. So let's phone lines. I was asking a question, but I was going to ask. Lawmaking for admission area, you saying plus fair incredible or being productive with relevant best across what you said. Do you think Malaga to continue and the GCO or MPCL?
Going to that March 4 years ago, I president got myself to call for education or that president of very good that you family because when all the educational program back to I think no president discount that was there was a flip man about 20,000 records that they damage the health pension damage that are and the joint and the office for the list today the record of so who would dig it to Nigeria what is there and short say business later business or prisoner this was a first was short without any issue so the institution of is logo
all right okay to the line take some time 072028593003017930 your basically what is the full situation line area as well and what you mentioned between Obele and 09030646 is what technology messages and you also read via YouTube and via Peter Gob from here Robin on my line for me.
Good evening.
I agree.
Expert who can engage all that way around to him and all. This thing are not sleeping in the house or place. But political has we that some people could have severely or even electricity once. Imagine that will give family to get what the money. Who are bringing shit and so ID and water, no inside that they will collect more shit. Where today, ask me the biggest problem we're having in Nigeria is DSS. They are dormant, they are bullying, they are not arresting anybody, they are pushing anybody. In spite of all the criminality going in the last half of the I bought well on top of the inflation. Good evening,
all right, take it. Robin, thank you from Adelaide. Ben, welcome. Talk to me, I like you. Yeah, good afternoon. I can hear you. Good afternoon, I just said. I like to hear from you. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, your guest was saying that the importers will be out of business. Why can't the importers start exporting the refined product outside the country? Why can't they use their sun tanks to store the product and export it outside the country? But
the refineries already have storage facility. I don't know, Ben. I don't know if you've been to the Port Harcourt refinery. You've passed by. They have storage facilities. Do they need tank farms to store them? I don't know. I don't think so.
I'm responding to his analysis that some people will be out of the business, mostly the importers. Why can't they change the line of business of exporting instead of importing?
Okay.
And allow the citizens to enjoy the product that God used to bless them. That's the submission. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Ben from Adelaide says, marketers can change or tank farm owners can change from importation to exportation. I've got Victor. Victor is calling me from Mile 3, but before I get to Victor, I've got this message. It says, I was told the federal government is planning to increase fuel again, yet people are preaching against protests. Nigerians must protest to stop bad governance in Nigeria. The sufferings are too much. Christian William from Igboichi. I've got Victor from Mile 3. Victor, welcome. What is on your mind right here?
Good evening, Kennedy.
Victor,
Kennedy,
okay, go
if
ahead.
Nigeria were to be a moonlight story movie, or maybe probably a fairy tale story, lots of questions that we cannot answer. Is anybody telling me in this country that when I have a child tomorrow and the child asks me, Daddy, why is it possible that you guys cannot have a refinery? The only answer an adult like me will give to them is cabal. And the next question will be, what is cabal? Don't these cabals have names? Are they spirit beings? If this is a collective project that a nation can do, why can't we do it? Are these guys spirits? Or every day we come on air, you see adults having the guts to tell Nigerians that cabals are the problem of that we're having in this country, and everybody is keeping quiet. And till date, nobody knows who these cabals are. Oh, God have mercy on us.
All right, thank you.
Indeed, we are conquered.
All right, thank you, Victor. Victor, thank you. Alozie from Elime, welcome. What is on your mind? Talk to me, please.
Hello, this is from Omuma.
From Omuma.
Thank you,
All right,
thank
welcome.
you, Kalada, man of the people.
Yeah.
First, I want to thank your guest for boldly telling us the truth. Because this issue of back and front, refinery, Dangote this and Dangote that, I know that Nigerians are the cause of our own problems. So what your guest said, what really gripped my concern is, in this hardship we are going on, masses are suffering. And some Nigerians still have the mind to be, amassing wealth for themselves with our own natural resources. That is very, very unfortunate. I pray that one day Nigeria will have people who will rule this country with conscience and with fear of God. Except that happens, if we continue to have these people who are championing first their own personality, at this point, Nigeria needs men who has the fear for humanity. Thank you, Alozie.
All right, Alozie, thank you. I've got Charles from Bonny Island. Charles, welcome. What is on your mind?
Good evening, Kalada.
I greet you.
Good evening, guest. Kalada, don't be surprised. In the next day, you will hear about protest or court injunction that will stop the house to remove care, or protest against removing care, and they are Nigerians. Canada in Bonny Island will have 3 plants for LPG plants. Maybe have 2, LNG have 1. Still, we don't have gas in Nigeria. All the oil and gas have located gas pumped to offshore. And we are still getting more oil. Still, we are not meeting up our output. Every day they keep stealing from this, and we are celebrating them. That's why they will continue to steal from us. Thank you, Kalada.
All right, thank you. I take one last call. I've got JJ from Port Harcourt Township. JJ, welcome. What is on your mind?
Yeah,
please?
Kalada, good evening.
Yeah, greetings to you. Welcome.
Kalada, I greet your guests in the studio. Kalada, have you noticed that each time you hear, landing cost is this, that, it's just a ploy. Make sure that they increase pump price. Yesterday I bought at 897 naira. Is that not 900 naira?
Something like that.
Then at the end of the day, when they come with the story and the next thing we hear, it will go up, never come down. For the last time I checked, I know that the pump price they told us is 591 naira. Kalada, you know the worst thing? On Sunday last week, I saw one of the NNPC filling stations selling at 591. When I bought that fuel, bros, my motor started to jerk immediately, as if I'm from a Jack family. The motor was jerking, until I had to buy other ones to mix it. That's why I got stability. So even the NNPC cannot even be trusted at the end of the day. Canada, we are in trouble, I swear.
All right. JJ, thank you very much for sharing your experience. But yeah, I was also looking forward to hearing your stories as to how much petrol is being sold in your area, what it is like. Are there long queues? As yesterday and the day before, we were talking about Abuja, Lagos, Ogun, and some northern states. But right now, it appears that it is, also affecting Port Harcourt, River State. I was at one NNPC filling station, and they were not selling as at this morning. I do not know about now. But this one says, good afternoon. Today I bought petrol for 860 naira per litre around Ozwoba. Is Mercury the only qualified Nigerian for that position? It is obvious that the cabals are using him to actualize their interests. He should be sacked and another person appointed, even though the next person will still fail, in your opinion, because the cabals would still use him. Tinubu, okay, our best import hacker, thank you. I'm going to come back to you now, Doc. So at this point, Petrol is selling for what price? What price have the marketers pegged Petrol at? Can you tell us? Especially in River State.
After this hour, Federal NNPC is still giving to marketers at 566.
Okay.
That's 566 naira.
Okay.
And you ask me, are they giving us now? The answer is no. And you ask me, when last did they give to us? They gave us last 28 days ago. And we have a buying portal, NNPC live buying portal. Since 28 days today, the portal is shut down with a message, a notification message that we are out of stock. So the biggest indicator for us to this innovation they brought that marketers can buy online is whenever the portal is shut down with this message, we know that the nation is out of stock. The nation is out of stock. So until they open this portal, that's what we can say that will be difficult to the problem we have in Nigeria. And the portal, from what we are hearing, is not opening anytime soon. So NNPC government price remains 560. So you will now ask another question: what is the process of marketers getting? Marketers are going all the way to Lagos to buy from a third party that have gotten from another source, and a truck from Lagos down to Rivers State is 2.5 million naira for you to transport a truck from Lagos to Rivers State. When you add the whole of this, I think the 850 that's selling is not even profiteering.
I was going to ask a question. Now, just keep my head. You made mention of I can remember now. Okay, yeah.
Your caller asked.
No. Before you respond to that, sorry. You said NNPCL portal is down. Can I know the portal? Can Nigerians know the portal so we can also see for ourselves? Can you give us a link?
We have 25,000 marketers on the portal nationwide. All the 25,000 marketers, the portal is shut down to every person as we speak for 28 days today. It's called NNPC Retail Marketing Buying Portal.
Oh, interesting. NNPC Retail Marketing Buying Portal. Okay.
Yes.
I would have to check that.
As we speak.
Okay.
It's shut down for 20 days. Okay, let me respond to the caller. One of your callers. He asked a question that if these operators of tank farm will be out of business, why wouldn't they convert themselves to exporters? And take note of this: you can only export what you have in surplus, and the operating license given to them, or the business model, is construct a tank farm and import from outside to work Nigeria, distribute within Nigeria. So they don't have the business license or operating model of exporting out of Nigeria. They don't have that operating license.
And that would mean they would have to buy a new license to be an exporter of petroleum products.
Buying is not the issue. You can only export what you have in surplus. And there is a report also, an article, that all Dangote will be refining and all that Nigeria 4 refineries will be refining will not really be sufficient for the local consumption of Nigeria. So from where we will not give to them to be exporting?
How much do we consume as a nation? I thought that had reduced after they blocked,
There are complicating figures. Federal government say will consume 70 million liters per day. The defunct GPR will consume 65 million liters per day. The marketers will posited that will consume, because we do the loading every day, so we did analysis, we consume about 40 million liters per day, and plus or minus, since the cross the border racketeering ended, it was obvious that Nigerians consume about 40 to 45 million liters per day. It has actually reduced. But I'll put this to you: the across the border racketeering has commenced again, because the selling rate in 4 neighboring African countries around us is now higher than us. So if you buy in Nigeria 800, all the 4 neighboring countries is about 1,000 something. So that racket is now open again. So the consumption will now go high.
All right. But one would have thought a 650,000 barrels per day would be able to accommodate or be able to satisfy 40 million, approximately, million liters of petrol every day.
The cracking process of a barrel of crude oil doesn't just bring all the millions of quantities to one commodity. As you're cracking, it comes out with the AGO, DPK, PMS, and the rest. So it's not as if when you're cracking the total barrels you've gotten, which is the capacity of a refinery, it brings to the equal equivalent of the refined product of just one of the byproducts. No, it brings numerous of byproducts based on the configuration of the plant.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Joseph Obele, for your time. It's been educative, and we've learned, and informative as well. And we do appreciate your time.
It's okay. I was really expecting that we'll talk about the approvals given yesterday, but I think that's
okay. If you want to touch, you could do that. What approval are you talking about? The Naira approval?
Yes. It's a very big news to Nigeria as a people. But this analysis will take out the mathematical formulas, and this brings us to why I said fuel will be selling to Nigerians for about 350. We've done all the analysis, but it will take us 30 minutes to educate the people on the new selling rate once Dangote start buying in Naira after approved by Mr. President. So it's kudos. Nigeria should commend Mr. President for this approval made yesterday. It's a big news to us. Because when he's buying in Naira, by then the other exports that have made payments, landing costs and the rest will all be eliminated. And it will now be direct value of Naira to direct value in the market. But we have one biggest fear. If somebody apply for 20 million barrels of crude oil, 20 million, who knows? Because getting in dollar and selling it, getting in Naira and selling it in dollars will be another rack.
All right.
Again.
I would have to go at this point. I'm really sorry. Maybe some other time we would continue the conversation.
You are tuned in to
Nigeria Info.
We'll be right back